So today we'll be talking about Frank and the short story of the car crash. For me personally, I sympathize with Frank at the beginning of the story. It is evident that he is scared, which is the reasoning for his reaction. Getting into a car accident is a traumatic experience, and everyone reacts differently to shock. When experiencing something this unfamiliar, like the shock from a car accident, people tend to do things that are uncommon and out of the ordinary for them. In the beginning of the short story, it explains how Frank was shouting at his kids to calm down. Then next thing you know, he had hit someone. This sentence alone says a lot about the situation. He was clearly distressed from his kids yelling in the back. Having people constantly yelling at you and distracting you from driving is really dangerous. He was stressed from his kids yelling and shocked because of the accident, which led him fleeing the scene. He was not morally or ethically correct, but he reacted out of shock. He was thinking with his feelings, not his mind, when he left the car crash site. Hit and run cases are unfortunately very common, and we are only human and make mistakes, especially when we are in uncomfortable situations. In my opinion, Frank does not change by the end of the story. The ending of the story justifies his actions and the series of events that occurred at the beginning of the short story. Everyone is very unique. People react differently in certain situations. Frank's only reacted the way he did due to unfortunate news he had found out prior into getting the car. He was emotionally distressed and was not focused. It is very important to be fully attentive while driving, because it is not only your life that's in danger, it's others. I do believe that Frank did the right thing. The news about his mother's illness does not justify why he was careless while driving and failed to take responsibility for his own actions. I do believe that his mother's illness caused Frank to be distressed. His emotional state was the reason for the accident, but this does not justify. I really do enjoy the conflict in this story. I do enjoy how Frank was someone you wanted to dislike in the beginning of the story, but then sympathized for him at the end of the story. It also makes you realize that everything is not how it seems, and that we cannot be so quick to judge a book by its cover. The conflict in this story made me realize that the conflict does not have to be instigated by an antagonist, and that conflict can be made by the protagonist, as well as the protagonist can be the antagonist at the same time. Thank you for listening.